I actually have to speak against this amendment, and I'll tell you why. Because the stakes are too high. And I'm not going to talk on behalf of the state of Texas, but I want to speak on behalf of the state of Indiana. It is a common use weapon to protect. And as a mother of 2 daughters, as a woman, I truly believe that is infringement of my rights. And I want to make sure that my children, my grandchildren, and grandchildren and children of my constituents have the same rights to protect them. And I think we need to remind us what really happened in countries like Ukraine right now, that there are a lot of people probably would love to have something, to protect themselves. And we know why we won our war, against kings and queens and became a republic, because our American people had these rights. If you don't have the rights, then you have a police state, or you can have bandits running the show. And I think that is very dangerous. This gives me a freedom as a woman. And I don't, my concern is, when we talk about these issues of common use and unusual and dangerous weapons, my concern is what's happening in Afghanistan, what's happening right now in Europe. If we don't take control of some of the things, we'll have javelin and stingers in common use in our cartels, Mexican cartels that have a lot of money right now, and they're big buyers of weapons right now in the markets, and we have an open border. It is a dangerous weapon, and we have to make sure that we deal with these issues and protecting our borders, and make sure that we have proper oversight and not abandon dangerous weapons in Afghanistan. That was a disgrace, what we did. And it is going to can hurt our cities if we don't get our act together. And I think that is something we need to find the common ground to do. And if you look at the state of Indiana, we had a great example where we have some good red flag laws. And even though I have some concerns, we put some check and balances in that red flag laws. We had shooting, and the red flag laws didn't stop because they're not getting enforced by the laws. And we had, unfortunately, shooting. And we just recently had one where constitutional carry, that stopped shooting, that more people didn't die. So we have to think what works, what doesn't work, because this bill is really about taking the rights from law-abiding citizens. And that is a problem that we have a big difference. So we have a lot of debates here about a different position, and we go on this series, and I'm not academic, okay? I'm not going to go, and I don't care what this law is. The laws are not for academics. We are the belief of this rights of Second Amendment rights as American citizens, or don't believe. And if we don't believe, then we better tell us our children and grandchildren that they are not protected against foreign and domestic enemies and tyranny government. And they're not protected from bandits, and they're not going to be protected and guaranteed their life and safety protected. And as a woman, I truly believe is an ultimate equalizer, and only people like immigrants like me and women are going to be suppressed in this right, because they're the first one. I've had personal experience on that, because somehow it looks suspicious speaking as an accent. So I will defend these rights for all people and all immigrants who came to this country to have these freedoms. That is what differentiates us against everyone else. That's why people are willing to come to this country, even illegally to cross the border, because they want to have freedoms, not oppression and suppression. And I really value this right, and I hope my other side will start thinking about it. We're playing politics with people's lives. There are some things that need to happen. We need to educate our children. In our country, we need to understand that it is a weapon. You have to have respect. You have to have safety. You need to do that. We have to expose our children to this. But we cannot take rights from law-abiding citizens, and we cannot have these academic debates. It's a real life and death situation. We have to look what's happening in other countries. And I think we need to make sure that we care about what has made our country the greatest in the world. And I have disappointed Mr. Chip Roy, but I would not support this amendment for that reason, because this bill, it is infringement on the rights of me as a law-abiding citizen. And it will never stop any bandits, unfortunately, but we do need to have tools to stop that. And I'm going to yield to Mr. Chip Roy.